All right. Welcome back, guys, to the Sim Standard Podcast with SimFBallCritic and Smitty and AzureEffect when he's able to come on. But again, guys, busy schedule, busy man. He teaches. So there you have it. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to make it tonight, but we're here. And we apologize, guys, for not being on last week. I had a family crisis, man. Some of you guys showed it. Some of you guys saw my tweet and offered your condolences. I appreciate that, man. It's a part of life, guys. That's the sucky part about life, is that life has to be lost, and it's extremely tough when it's somebody close to you. So there you have it, guys. We just couldn't have a show last week, man. But back here this week to try to give you guys some type of entertainment, information, what have you. Like Smitty talked to me earlier, man, before the show started, there's not a lot going on right now. It's kind of stagnant a little bit. And I think that's across the board in the gaming community as far as sports games. Not a whole lot to talk about right now. And I'll get into that part here in a moment, when we dive into it. But outside of that, man, what we really just want to cover tonight, we'll touch a little bit on the latest Madden patch, the October patch that came out. Talk a little bit about the current state of the game, some of the frustrations that you guys may still be experiencing, and some of the things that must have to happen in 20 in order for you guys to be a little more I don't want to say satisfied, because satisfied is not the word, but a little more enthused about playing the game. Because right now the sentiment is everybody's really not and really not sweating playing Madden right now. They're doing it, but it doesn't really tickle your fancy right now. So we'll get into that. Then we'll also talk a little bit, man, about where do sports games need to focus the most. And that's coming directly from Operation Sports, man. I actually read that article that they have up there, and you did kind of a round table, and they got a few guys giving their opinions. And me and Smitty will talk about that a little bit. I don't know if you've seen that, Smitty. If you want to take a peek at it while we're here on the show, and maybe comment on what some of these guys are saying, and we'll give our thoughts as well. And also, guys, we plan to bring on a guest who's been here quite a few times, so he's more like a resident. Brett Lee will be coming on tonight as well. For you guys that don't know who that is, he is a former EA Sports developer. He worked on games such as Madden and Fight Night. So he'll come on, and we'll chop it up with whatever he wants to discuss. Again, me and Smitty are running thin with the topics, so if you guys can provide us some, we would love that. And hey, if we make it to 10 o'clock, great. If not, we'll cut it short. It is what it is. So y'all know what we do first and foremost, man. It's football season, so Smitty, I will throw it to you. First and foremost, how was your week? And talk about how you're currently feeling about the Detroit Lions. And then once we get Brett on, we'll ask him some of those same questions.
Yeah, man. Hey, what I feel about the game at this point, about the Lions, they're rolling a little bit, They're rolling a little bit right now. They came, they beat the Pack. Then they go ahead and play against the Dolphins in Miami. And they put together a good game. What a difference having a run game makes. You know what I'm saying? We haven't had a running game in so long.
Yeah.
That's why Stafford has looked so bad, and that's why people are like, oh, get rid of Stafford and do all this stuff. No. You give the man adequate pass protection. You give the man a legitimate running attack. And that's going to change the game for him. That takes it to a whole nother level. So I'm very happy with how they played. You know what I'm saying? I know we got a tough stretch coming up, which I know we got to play the Rams. I think we got the Rams in there. We got the Panthers in there. We got, at least this week coming up, we got the Seahawks at home. So, we are at least at home, but once again, Our defense isn't bad. Like, that's the thing. Statistically speaking, we're not the best defense, but at the same time, we're top 10. Like, our pass defense is top 10, which is crazy. We have, and I mean, he hasn't ran the ball a ton, but we have the 7th best rusher in the NFL in Kerryon Johnson. You know what I'm saying? Like, we have a decent receiving core. We have pieces. We have the pieces to get the job done. Just that we need to stay healthy, and we need to be efficient out there. But yeah, man. Oh, and also the Pistons out here winning right now. You know what I'm saying? 3-0. Blake Griffin decided to go postal against Philly. You know what I'm saying? Joel Embiid flopping and everything else. He owned Drummond. He owned him. He owned him. But to go ahead and get him thrown out the game on that flopping tech and everything like that, I mean, I'm glad they pulled it from Drummond right there. I mean, it's not like he's hurting for money, even though that would cost him though either way. But still, he still owned him. He got dominated. But yeah, I mean, but to see Blake doing everything he was doing out there, I mean, that ain't turning back the clock. See that? I think that he got a new lease on life, somewhat. I mean, I know it's very early to say that, but these first few games, he's playing a little bit out of his mind right now. You know what I'm saying? So that's pretty good. I'm liking that. And then I mean, what Steph Curry did last night, my goodness. And it's against the Wizards, for crying out loud. I don't know if you saw Sim, but
nah,
golly, gee, oh my God, Steph, he had 51.
Oh wow.
And I mean, he nutted up from beyond the arc. He was just throwing threes up there, just throwing them, and he was just hitting like it was nothing. And I'm like, it's absolutely unreal how Steph Curry is out here balling. Like, when he's feeling it, especially when he's feeling it, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who you put in front of him, how many people you put in front of him. I mean, he would just come cross court, take a little step over to the right or left, and pull up like good 4-5 feet, behind the 3-point line, and just let it rip. And he's knocking these boys down. You know what I'm saying? He went crazy last night. But all in all, I mean, I'm excited. I'm excited to see the Lions winning. I know some people drinking the Kool-Aid right now really are truly buying into the Lions. I'm not yet. I need to see how they do on this bigger stretch when they're going against tougher competition, as y'all hear my daughter talk. But I'm going to throw it back to you, Sim, and that's pretty much all I got at this point.
Yeah, man. Pittsburgh Steelers, man. Hey, we'll see. That's all I'm going to continue to say. I mean, it's funny how a team could be 3-2-1 and currently at the top of the division, based off of percentages. And what I would say, man, if I were I don't even have to be a Ravens, Bengals, or Browns fan, but what I would say in general, this is the time that those teams need to try to take advantage. Because currently, you mess around and you let the Steelers get back into it. I mean, of course, like I said, they're in the lead right now due to percentages. But if you mess around and allow Pittsburgh at this point to just, stack some wins together, put like a 4 or 5 game win streak in there, and they better keep up. Because if this is, this is no better time than now for another team in the division to take it over. The Ravens at 4-3, Bengals at 4-3. And they haven't put that distance in between them yet. So I don't know. Like I said, I still don't know what type of team we are. I think we are an explosive offense. It's been that way for a few years now. Don't really care to talk much more about Le'Veon Bell. I mean, it's still madness. And at this point, guys, whatever. No disrespect to him. No disrespect to the team. It's business. I get it. But who cares? Tired of really talking about that situation. At this point, James Conner's balling. Let him keep balling. And, hopefully if Bell does come, it doesn't affect the chemistry. Defensively, I think the Steelers, man, are still hit or miss. To be fair, what a lot of us, Steelers fans are saying, we're looking better against the pass and all of that. Yeah, we did. We looked good against the Atlanta Falcons, which is, a potent passing offense. Looked fairly good against Cincinnati, even though we had to squeeze that one out. But, again, you hold the team to under 24 points or so, right at 21 points. You have opportunity to win in today's NFL. But we got to face Drew Brees in the latter part of the season. We got to face Phillip Rivers. We got some guys that can really throw that ball around that's coming up. So we'll see. Last thing I'll say about that, man, I said that the Steelers would need to go 2-1 in the next 3 games. And at that time, I was including Cincinnati. They got that one. So these next 2 games against Baltimore and Cleveland, of course, being the one on Sunday, they need to go at least 1-1. They need to finish that little stint 2-1. If they do that, I think they clearly have an opportunity to compete for the division. But I don't think Steelers are going that far, guys. Yeah, I'm the first one to say it. You get into the playoffs, I don't think we go very far. So there you have it. We'll keep watching to see what's happening. Now, before we bring Brett on, guys, another little nugget, man, that I didn't even realize. I found this out over the weekend. That kid from Oregon, Javon Holland. It's my cousin. I didn't even know it. And you guys, just to give you, bring you guys up to speed, I have a large family on both my dad and my mother's side. On my mom's side is how I'm related to him. I found out that I believe he's about my 4th cousin or so. I think his parents are my mother's 3rd cousin, maybe. So, it makes us like 4th or 5th or whatever. But the family is close. This is a family group that I don't see that often. But, of course, we all know each other. They live out in Cali. His mother is who I'm related to. I didn't even know that. We watched the game over the weekend, and that's pretty cool, man. I think that kid is going to be special at safety. For you guys that watch Oregon football, he's a true freshman. And he's balling. He was ranked very, very high out in California. I just thought that was kind of cool, to have a younger cousin balling out like that, and maybe perhaps he makes it to the NFL one day. That'd be cool. So yeah, just a little tidbit of that. So outside of that, man, we can jump into whatever topics we're going to cover. Let me call Brett here, man, and get him on into the conversation here, guys. Give me just a moment. And we will add him on. All right. There he is. What's going on, man?
What's going on, you guys? I was having some technical difficulties. I couldn't hear you at first, but once you called, I was able to hear it. I had to go back between YouTube and the Skype. What's been going on?
Nothing much,
Not
man.
much, man.
Just hanging in there, doing whatever it is we can do.
I heard that. So yeah, I've been tweeting you a couple times, Tim, about some, the videos I've been seeing between your man in online sports or sports gaming online and Eric Wayweather, and they're basically saying how the game is dead now, and and it is, man. I mean, which is the type of inputs that you're seeing right now is the type of inputs you see in the months of March, April, May. Once football season is completely over, and we're seeing this in October, and that's a scary feeling, because it's like, what is going on as far as have they lost their main fan base as far as people that's playing the game. But I will say, I don't know if you guys got any of the surveys that I've gotten. I've gotten a couple. I got the one that I sent you, I think, Tim, about a month ago or 3 weeks ago. And then I got one by EA themselves. They sent me one in an email. And the survey was mainly based about franchise mode, about whether or not what do I think about franchise mode in comparison to the NBA 2K, to comparison to MLB The Show, and they gave you 5 options where, you know, if you mediocre, if you satisfied, very satisfied, or not satisfied, and unsatisfied, and of course, majority of my answers is unsatisfied. I had to be honest with it. And so when I see that, you know, maybe that's in a glimmering of light of maybe they might be going in the right direction to finally say, hey, you know what, we might need to start listening to what these people are saying. Because, you know, to me, I really feel like I'm playing a beta 1 game that has Class A bugs. Just Monday, the game crashed on me. In the middle of the game. These are Class A bugs that should never be happening. And it's crashing like that where the game you're not even supposed to ship the game out that way when you're having Class A bugs. And I got to wonder, you know, I don't know how, when you guys got the PS4, did you get it when it first came out, or did you get it like a little bit afterwards?
No, we had it early.
Yeah, we had it a little bit early.
Okay, so you remember when Battlefield 4 came out? And when Battlefield 4 came out, it was a good game, but it had a lot of issues.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Issues. And that was a Frostbite engine. And it took them about a year to get that game finally to play like it's supposed to. Well, to me, it seems like, I'm wondering, do they even have a grasp on this engine? Because the type of bugs that they're having, it's unheard of. You know, this game is so broken in so many ways, from the physics to the gameplay, to the lack of gameplay, to the lack of just, you know, franchise mode input. It just seems incomplete. And like you said 2 weeks ago, or actually I think it was 3 weeks ago, Sam, you said, you know, did they release the game too early? You know, August 10th was very early. The last time they did that was in 2009. And now, for them to do it that early with all these internal issues going on, I think it's just coming. Everything is coming to a head. I just really see it coming to a head. But hopefully, you know, if we just keep on bringing our input on what we want in the game, hopefully we can make a difference.
Do you think the games has gotten better or worse since all of the patching, like all the way up to this this most recent patch?
I think I said it I forgot which podcast I was on. I said every time you bring out a patch, you fix something, but you break something else. And usually it's like you fix 15 things, you might break 5. Where right now you're fixing 15 things, but you're breaking 30. That's how I feel about it. You know, it's like the gameplay is going up and down. It's very inconsistent on how the gameplay is being made. Like right now, this last patch, I do feel a little bit better running the ball. I definitely feel comfortable running the ball. But it's the speed issue. They say they fixed it, but to me, it's still the same. The inconsistencies with the crashing, it's not happening as much as it did that one patch that came out, but it's still happening. So it's just, you got to, it's like basically you're picking your poison. And you wonder how much are they testing the game when they come up with this patch? Because I know they're pressured to bring something out to satisfy us, to make sure that we're satisfied getting the game is play issue fixed. But at what cost by breaking the game? Is it really worth it? And this year is just, it's just been a very inconsistent year. This is one of the worst years I've seen it in a long time, at least since the 2010 Madden.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy, man. The thing is like you said, it's inconsistent. I feel like the game, since the patch, I may have played 1 or 2 games maybe offline, but I just actually finished playing an online game in the league, our first game of the season. I'm actually gonna, if I get a chance, I'm gonna chop up that video and post it. And I played one of our preseason games against a user, and I'm gonna post that one too. It's funny because the game, I can see spots where it's playing better, But then there are these times where things just go awry, and you're like, what has happened? I mean, little stuff like, I wonder if anybody else has noticed this, man. Like when even some of the audible stuff. If you notice when you're on defense, and if you try to, spread your linebackers in certain formations, it crosses them. It makes the linebacker on the right goes to the left, and your coverage is all crazy. It's little stuff like that, man. I had a game in this game tonight. I moved my lineman, and one of the linemen stood up and did like this crazy, like that slow motion slide to the left. I'm like, what is going on?
Yeah. And I mean, it's like me and one of my good friends that worked with me there. We were talking about the other day, the high point pass. It seemed like on seam routes, the high point pass is on point. But if you do a corner route, and you got like 3 or 4 steps ahead of the guy, the dude, for some reason, guns are underneath, and he has the ability to take that pass completely away. And there's no way that should be happening. No way whatsoever. I mean, I don't know. I have faith in the development team. I mean, I know that they handcuff with certain things, but it's just sometimes you wonder, like, what is it that they, what does it take for them to get certain aspects of the game right? I don't know. There's just seem like, and then what about the out of bounds limitations as far as the boards are out of bounds? The guys are still running completely into the stands, basically. They don't know their boundaries. Last year, it was perfect. Like, when you got to the sideline, they knew, okay, either I'm going to catch it or I'm just going to miss the ball, but I'm not going to continue running out of bounds. This year, it's like they don't have no type of boundaries.
Yeah, I see that. I also see you still seeing it where if a guy gets injured, he does that little hunched over squat and slowly walks off. I'm like, what? It's a lot of little stuff, man.
Yeah.
Some of the alignment issues are bad where you still sometimes see it's either your linebacker or your safety is like hunched over one of the linemen. It's a lot of little crazy stuff, man. Yeah. And me personally, man, I want to hear, your thoughts and Smitty's thoughts on this. Some of the things in the patch, I'm like, okay, cool. But some of the other stuff, it's making me feel like they still continue to try to please everybody, and you just can't do that. Like, I don't agree with making running easier for everybody across the board because you're trying to stay within the NFL averages. Like, I've never liked that, and Clint knows that, Rex knows that. I've had this conversation with them for years. When Rex was there, why do y'all worry so much about maintaining averages? Anytime you do that, that kills any chance of us believing that the game has any type of dynamic aspect.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's like, to me, it's like it's a dial. You can dial up, dial down, and I'm like, who cares? It shouldn't be like that. It's a game. Let us have that experience. We're not going to be able to keep up with the NFL percentages of this and that. It's too much override going on in that game, man.
Yeah. Go ahead, Smitty. I want to hear what you have to say.
Excuse me. Like, I mean, basically, the way I feel about it is that, if these guys can't speak to these things with confidence, well, show it, not speak to it. They can speak to it with confidence. They are, but if you can't show it with confidence, that's a problem.
Yeah.
Because, look, all right, Czar is a very knowledgeable guy when it comes to NBA and basketball. He could fire up 2K and be like, yeah, this is what Brad Stevens literally does. Let me show you how it works against the opposition. And he could go all through it and everything, break it down, all that. But when you look at Madden, can A-Dub do the same thing? Can he could tell us how it should work, like how he said in his videos and everything, but can he fire up the game and just show us? No, he can't just fire the game up and say and just be like, "Oh, this is how it works and this is how this functions and all." He can't do that. They still got to put stuff into the game to get the stuff working appropriately.
Mm-hmm.
We've had discussions, we've had talks already about players covering grass, and they still do it at a very high rate. So it's like, you know, the devs, I mean, we've talked about that before, but it still is worth saying. Got to quit handcuffing these devs, man. And it seems like that seems to be a notorious thing going on with EA, because that's the exact same sentiment I have with Live. It's like these guys are being handcuffed, and it's like, well, we'll allow you to do these things, but we won't allow you to develop this game. Look, Sim and I made a point, and this is kind of going a little bit off the rail of, you know, talking about the title update, but this is a big point. Ultimate Team, Madden Ultimate Team gets all these updates, all these tunings and refinements and all this TLC, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, you look at MUT since it came in Madden 10. Can I go back to Madden 10 right now and say MUT in Madden 10 is factually better than the way they have it, you know, with the layout and the look and the appearance and functionality? Is it better than what we have now in Madden 19? No, I'd be lying to sit up here and say, yeah, it's better, unless that's just my personal feelings.
Mm-hmm.
But can we say that in regards to gameplay at this point? No. We can literally, I can pull up Madden 04 stuff that's done better than now.
Yeah.
I can pull up those weapon icons and everything, Madden 08 and all that. I can pull all that up and showcase how that better articulated the game of football than what we got now.
Yeah.
I shouldn't be able to do that, and we ain't even got to don't even get started on franchise mode.
Oh
my God! You think do you think? Let's just keep it even more simple. You think I could look at the original NFL 2K and compare it to NFL 2K5 and say the first 2K they put out has a better franchise mode than 2K5? There's no freaking way. No freaking way. But I could pull up a franchise mode, and that was by production year 2004. It's better than what we got in 2018 by Electronic Arts. That shouldn't be the case. And that's messed up. So, okay, sweetie. So I'll throw it back to y'all, but that's where I'm at with it.
Yeah.
You gotta take the handcuffs off and let these cats work, because otherwise this is always going to be the talk. I saw Clint on Twitter earlier. Oh man, I hope that the devs can fix the play action, man. I don't want the play action to be like this, that, and the third. You saw Clint co-sign. I hope the devs bring that up. And you saw Clint say, yeah, I brought it up too. When the devs are saying it, it's like, so if Clint is saying it, who's holding them back then from doing what they need to be able to do?
Daddy, that's a tissue.
See what I'm saying? That's the outcry is there. They're just doing it in a subtle fashion, but they can't come out blatantly be like, yeah, it's these guys that are stopping us. I mean, I know I know Rex was a rebel saying it, and he was on streams like, yeah, man, they just want an OBJ, they just want a OBJ catch. That's all they worried about. I'm like, nah, man, we need football in this thing. What you talking about? A gimmicky catch? Nah, we need more than that. We need X's and O's. We need all that happening. We need fundamentals. That's what has to happen. And it doesn't make sense. It makes no sense why Madden at this point can't be a game selling 10 plus million copies. They can get all the MUT revenue they want if you make the game right.
Yep.
That's all you got to do. Just make the game right. That's it.
2K. Just look at 2K.
Exactly. And 2K got slew of its own problems too. But in principle, though, the principle is there. So I'm just saying, if EA did the same freaking thing, you're talking about 10 million copies at least. You did it on PS2. So you had no Ultimate Team, no none of that, and you just got started with online play back then, and you were able to move 10 million copies. So there's no excuse why you can't do that now. Yep. You're your own worst enemy, holding your own project back. That's the problem here. Doesn't make sense. So
here's three things I wanted to feed off of that too. One, I don't know if it's just me or not, but doesn't it seem like ever since they lost the college, that franchise mode just not the same no more? Because remember when you played college, you brought those players into the Madden, and it just kept it going. But ever since they lost the college, it's like they just lost its life. Basically, it's just not the same no more. Even when they brought CFM the first time, it just didn't seem. It was still limited even back then, because you could tell they were limited. It was a new way of playing. It was new being put on the PS4. But then when it came out, later on, it never caught fire. And I don't know. I mean, that was just another added boost that they had with the college players, but it gave it some life. It gave creativity. And now it's just dull. It's just completely dull. I mean, it's a shame that I have more fun playing a franchise mode on a PS2 version than I have on a PS4. That never should happen. It should never happen.
You're right.
And then like getting to the gameplay, like the play actions, it's just irrelevant. It's like my game, when I'm playing my game is limited on how I play the game because the fact that certain plays is not working. Play action is a very pivotal point to anybody's game when you're on point on your offense. When you take that away, it's just a matter of just like, can I just get this pass off or can I get this run off? There's no deception no more. They don't, the way that the game used to be developed was when you start doing certain things trendy, you start running the ball, then they start anticipating the run, but then when you call the play action, you get them to go for that running back. Then it's like one dude goes for it, but the other dude's like, no, I'm not going for it. I'm going straight for the quarterback, and then you're blasting. You don't even get the ball off. It's just completely irrelevant. Counters don't work at all. Counters used to be some of the best play calling, but it was balanced enough where if the person called the right defense, you can stop it. But now you can't even do a counter because the guy coming from behind is catching. Not the guy that's guessing the right hole. The guy from behind is catching. And then the collision detection in itself. I had an animation the other day. Nobody was even touching him. He was doing a tackling animation. Like, come on, man. It's just certain things. It's like that makes me think that they don't understand this engine as well as they say that they do. And I don't know how limited they are with it. But hey, hopefully with some of these inputs that we put out there, hopefully they can start working on it. I don't know if you guys saw the video of Deuce Douglas that came out, I think either late last night, early this morning, about some of the ideas he has. He's going to do another 5.5-part series about ideas he wants in the game for next year. And he said the reason why he's doing it now, he usually does it in March, but he figured if I do it in October, maybe this stuff can get put in there. And this is the best time to do it. So they really are thinking about next year's game. This is the point where right now they're getting a game plan for next year's game, without a doubt.
Madden 20 been already in production for a while now.
Oh, yeah. And partially because of what they knew what was going to go on this year. With losing those two producers and all the internal strikes that's going on, they had to start working on it now. They're losing. I was talking to one of my boys today, too. He said, sometimes he wonder if they're phasing out the old school heads of Madden and just trying to cater to the casual fan.
I don't know if I believe that, though. Only because Smitty will know this. It's hard to explain to the core audience that, has no idea what really goes on or has never, really gotten in behind the mind of the devs. And I don't know if I could say that they're going full casual, because if we look at over the years, some of the stuff that actually has been put in since Madden 10, why even allow them to do that? It's a lot of things in there that marketing wouldn't have agreed to. A lot of things that Rex and Clint and A-Dub, like A-Dub, perfect example. They could care less about all those coverage schemes. They could care less about that. Is the development team, I mean, I can 100% guarantee, at least the guys that I know what they're trying to do, and they often sneak things into the game whatever time they have allotted to do it. But the problem really is at the top, man. It really is.
Yeah, it is. It without a doubt. And trust me, I've seen it firsthand, and it's almost just like a sickening because it's sickening. But if you're in their type of mentality, it is about the dollars for them. Because when you get to that particular level, that's all they're thinking about is the dollar. They ain't thinking about nothing else but that. It's unfortunate, and we got to take the hit from it, but that's their mentality. So if that's the case, it's about the dollar, like Smitty said. Look what happened to that Star Wars Battlefront. We gotta make a stand with that. We gotta start speaking about it. We gotta make a stand and say, hey, man, I'm just not tolerant. I'm just not going to participate in this game no more. But this is where it's kind of hard to do that. Even though Star Wars is a Star Wars game, it's still a first-person shooter game. You still got other first-person shooter games. There's no other football game, and they know that. And we be mad as all we want, but they're going to still get somebody to buy this game. Yep. And they need competition.
That's the problem.
But
I'm telling you, most people can't resist it, man. And I don't fault nobody, but I'm like, to be honest, I mean, I say it all the time, and I'll even put myself and Smitty out there. A lot of times people will say, well, it's easy for y'all to say because y'all don't pay for the game anyway. Yeah, but if I felt this way, I wouldn't buy the game. I really wouldn't. Like y'all have seen me Redbox a plethora of games. I wouldn't buy Madden if I was in a position where I had to buy it if I completely didn't like the product. Now, if it has issues and I can deal with it, okay. But what I'm saying is, I'm talking about those that just can't stand it. And then they'll turn around and tell me, man, but I buy it every year. But I'm like, why would you?
Yeah.
Why do that? I get it's the only game, but still, you can't give them your money knowing you can't do that. Like, numbers would change everything for the higher ups.
Sure will. They sure will.
But I don't know. What you guys, Smitty?
What I want to say, though, is that when, like you had mentioned before, I mean, I'm not saying necessarily on a guy like a SGO. I understand why they cover the game because, that's part of their job as being sports gaming media.
Right.
But when you have videos like, for example, from Eric Wayweather, he falls in line with the same crowd of people that say, man, I hate this game, but then they buy it anyway.
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying? I didn't want to say
it's Smitty, but you're absolutely right.
No, I mean, it is because I look at his channel and I look at the videos and I like the videos, like I do. But then you turn around and you have a video where you're going in on the game talking about what's wrong with it, but then you turn around and you make videos highlighting stuff.
Yeah.
Hey man, I had a 300-yard rushing game, and that's like the thumbnail for the video. It's like, but didn't you just say this game's dead?
Yeah.
And you're doing it. Like, I'm not saying knock your YouTube hustle and all that stuff. I'm not, do your thing. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, though, you're not being fully honest. Because you're still partaking in this project. Now, if you have somebody that's ride or die, like, man, this some bull crap, I'm not going to play this year, blah, blah, blah. Let's say if you saw Dubby, Problem, Dreeny, all these guys just, I'm not playing Madden this year. I'm going to play 2K or I'm going to play something else. That's, you see what I'm saying? That's impact. Yeah. Now you're backing up your speech a little bit. But when you're like, man, this is bullcrap, and you're still in the thick of qualifications. Well, it's not exactly. You're okay with it. So that's why I'm saying, if you're serious about that, then show it, prove it. Don't just say you're mad, but you're angry, but then you still pulling out your wallet. Let me buy these bundles real quick. I hate these microtransactions, and I don't like the way MUT works in regards to this. But here's another bundle. I'm gonna do another pack opening, and I'm gonna keep on playing. And why are you still playing it then? So you're not upset with it. You're okay with it.
Yeah.
You're all right with the treatment. Oh, okay then. Well, then don't complain. There's no point in wasting that energy and acting like in one of his videos, like Ray Weather has said in one of his videos, he said he talked about, I mean, I know that I post videos showcasing money plays and exploiting plays, but it's after the fact that it's already put out there. You're still adding insult to injury. Yeah. You're not saving anything. There's no falling off the back. It's like you're saying that this is a problem, but you're steadily contributing to it. But you're trying to say, well, I don't contribute to the problem. I'm just letting it be known after the fact. No, it's still a problem though. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I'm in agreement with what they say, and I don't have a problem with that. But it's that same old method, and that's why I personally feel that, I mean, this was something I wanted to say from earlier, was that when you have Ultimate Team, that's like this game, this service, this facet of a game that gets all this continuous developmental treatment and all that stuff. Why can't we have the whole game treated like that? Mm-hmm. Why can't we have core gameplay done that way? Hey man, I got problems with these chemistries in MUT. You think a CFM guy could talk about chemistry? Can a CFM player talk about abilities and all that different stuff? Can they do that? Mm-hmm. No, they can't do any of that because it doesn't work in there. Yeah. It's only in that one mode. So in order for me to have a voice on an impactful facet of the game, I forcibly have to play that mode. Well, sorry. You know what I mean? I can't. I don't know, man. What
you're saying. It's me. I'm so glad. Because I'm not trying to downplay nobody's hustle. I'm not trying to take away what they're doing. In fact, I think what Eric does is a great thing. As far as I use his input so I can see what I need to look out for when I'm playing. But in the same token, as disgusting that you are with the game, you come right back to show other exploits about the game. It sends a mixed message. It really does. And what you're saying, it's valid. It's very valid what you're saying. It still sends a mixed message.
Yeah. Because people listen to that. I mean, he's got over 100K subs. So, I mean, you got people that are genuinely hanging on to your word. So it's not like you can't try and play the background in the crowd like, hey, I mean, I'm just saying, it's just me. Like, that's like QJB trying to be subtle. You got over 1 million subs. Hey, man, I'm just saying, it's already out there, but I'm just throwing my 2 cents in. Like, no, man, you have at least over 500,000 people that are going to hang on your word or what you show to people. So it's like, you can't necessarily play a background role and just be like, well, I'm just speaking afterward. No, man, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. And I mean, the overall thing with Madden is that the meta, it doesn't have to be a meta. Get this meta out of here. It needs to just be football. I hate that. That's the meta. The NFL and what happens on Sunday, that's your meta. Skip all this. Well, we got to see what the meta is based upon this and that and that. No. Football's the meta. Make the game based off of what's happening in football. People will enjoy it based off of what you put out there. Yeah, people are going to complain and whine. Oh my gosh, I can't do this and can't do that. Adapt or get exposed. That's it. And I mean, no disrespect. Listen, I got no problem. There's no issue with problem, no issue with any of these guys. But if that means that we're going to see new faces as the new Madden leads and all that stuff in terms of communities because some folk can't get with it, that's perfectly fine. You got to evolve. You got to get better. It shouldn't. That's pretty stale when it's like, well, here we go again. We got another MUT tournament and the same 5-6 competitors that we already know are going to be in the finals are here again. Like it's going to be stale. And just like looking at the tournament play now, it's pretty much the same plays.
It's the same. You don't see nobody new.
No, it's the same plays, same style. Oh, well, this guy did a hot route here and did an audible there and all that. Okay, yeah, but it's the same plays.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And yes, you're showcasing, like I said, back to the Eric Rayweathers and stuff like that. Yes, you guys showcase the money plays. Y'all showcase these glitchy plays and everything else. Honestly, if I was manning those kind of tournaments, I'd be like, you can't use that. Oh, man, how come? Because it's glitchy. You can't use glitchy plays. That's just it. But I've been working all this time on this, and now I don't know what I'm gonna do. Okay.
Oh.
Well, you can forfeit, or you can step two. Your choice. And that's it. You know what I'm saying? Like, see, this is how I feel. To keep it on a fair playing field, these Madden tournaments shouldn't even take place until they're done patching the game.
Exactly.
It shouldn't happen until the Super Bowl week should be the first week of competitive inaugural play.
Yep.
That should be it. Not even a tournament, just now we're kicking off the comp season of Madden. All the patches, all the tunings are pretty much done. This is the game you're going to have. We might do one little tuning here and there, but it's not going to be nothing monumental. We're full bore Madden 20. Here's your tournament. Do what you do. And that's it. So that way, it's fair for everyone. Because I see guys get upset and say, oh, well, I was playing the game and it was in this state and it cost me this. So it's like, to be fair, do the tunings and stuff. Take from the feedback, see people put all the money plays and all the cheat stuff out there, and then just inhibit people when it comes to tournaments. Oh yeah, all the money plays that y'all see online, guess what? When they get to the door thinking they about to do all that, yeah, you can't do it. Oh man, but yep. And you get caught doing it, don't worry, you'll be disqualified. You know what I'm saying? Like, there needs to be some kind of rule and regulation. Just can't have the game looking crazy like that. That's just not. No, because this is something that me and Sim, when we go down to the studio and we talk with these guys like Zan and Gibbs, Farles, all these cats. We sit there and we talk football all day long. We talking all this, NFL that, football this, that, and the third. But when they're playing the game, that's not what's going on. It's not about exploiting personnel. It's about exploiting the shortcomings of the game. And when that's what we're seeing, basically, like what we're seeing in these tournaments pretty much, that's not football. How are we going to sit up here and talk about football, but you're not playing it?
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong with Rayweather giving you tips. Give me tips based off of actual football personnel and this formation and what it does. And if you have these kind of players, especially in MUT, if you get this kind of player, if the gameplay fits the mold of the sport, football, that's all they have to do. Fit the mold of the sport of football the right way.
But Smitty, with you saying that, but does it also mean that they need to work on the game more as well, too? To give us that aspect?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, what I'm talking about is core gameplay. So what I mean is, like, if you, for example, if you play NHL, it doesn't matter if you play casual, hardcore, easy, whatever mode. The principal functionality of hockey at its core with fundamentals and such is there. No matter how easy, arcadey, whatever, it's there. Even if you play NHL 3s, that's arcadey. But at the same time, you still have that fundamental premise of hockey there in terms of the way the game moves, the ebb and flow of it. Madden, it just has to be absolute all the time, regardless of rating. And oh, by the way, I'm going to do a tournament. It's a glitch in the game they have where I could put all bronze offensive linemen and I'm going to stonewall your gold player. Are you seriously kidding me? and you could do that? Like, see, that's what I'm saying. The core gameplay, you got to have the core gameplay stuff right first. So that way, it doesn't matter what mode you play it in. The principle of core football functionality is there. That's why you hear me and Sim give massive props to FIFA and PES and NHL like that. Because those games are free-flowing games. Even with two-man interactivity, you're not stuck in two-man anthems. All kind of angles are played. Ball and puck physics are extremely tangible. You have all those elements there. Whereas Madden, as chaotically dynamic of a sport it doesn't have nearly as much of it as it should. But see, that's part of the problem is that, like what's been said in the chat, and we've said this even before, even with you here, when it comes to playing the game, people start to play it and then they complain and want them to dial it back. It's like they want to they literally want to moonwalk this game. They want to move backwards as they're moving forwards at the same time. You can't do that. It's got to be one or the other. They can't keep moonwalking every time the game comes out and something tough happens. Oh, time to start going. Time to get that walk going. No, it has to be one way. You know, you want the game to evolve and get better and keep pressing forward. Okay, well then let them press it forward and do nothing but that. Stop trying to get the game nerfed and dialed down because it's not your coupe de jour, so to speak. No, get better. I don't care who you are. Get better. I don't care how much knowledge you have. Get better. Everybody can. That's all that has to happen when it comes to this project. Seriously. So, and the stuff that we've all talked about, we're not asking for them to blow our minds with something absolutely brand spanking new. We're not saying any of that. We're just saying we're talking about real simplistic stuff to addressing the game that will go a mighty, mighty long way when it comes to representing and replicating football in this project. And it can't keep being the explanation of, man, we can't do it this generation. Well, what generation are you going to be able to do it on?
You do it in.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we keep hearing, like PS2, oh, we got to have more processing power to do that. All right, we go up another generation. Oh, man, we can't do it here. We got to go up another level. Well, how many more levels you need for Madden?
Yeah, exactly.
Jeez.
Yeah. Why can these other games do it?
Yeah. And why are the other games are doing it? You know? Yeah. And that's something that I'm fearing too, is that they're saying that they're waiting for, you know, we kind of know through the grapevine that the PS5 is coming out in 2 more years. But nah, I don't want to hear that, because I remember when it went from PS1 to PS2, they still was being creative in the PS1 version. And they just carried it on over. They didn't make no excuses. There wasn't no patches to be made. That game had to be done right then and there. That was it. Once it was out, that was it. Now, with the fact that you got online play and you can download patches, they're giving you a 50 to 60% game, knowing good and well, we'll patch it up later on. And trust me, you guys, I've seen it happen. Not necessarily with Madden, but PC games, that's exactly how they used to be developed. Every single time. They would come out with the game, 60% done, knowing that they're going to patch it. They will send a patch out the day that the game came out. And it's exactly what they're doing now. And it's sad. We pay too much money to get a halfway game, man.
It's crazy,
really
man. It's just like Kia just said. It's the skill gap. The run game had a skill gap. That's gone.
Yep.
You know, the user is overpowered now in certain times in coverage. They had eliminated that. It wasn't as bad. And I tell you, man, they just keep patching this, they keep patching that. And even what you just said is living proof to what I say all the time. The answer is it's EA Tiburon. Whoever is in charge of what governing body is managing that building, that's where the problem lies. Because, you know, people always say, oh, EA is lazy. No, they're not.
Nope.
Look at FIFA. Look at NHL.
Yeah.
I mean, there you go. That's living proof right there that it's not the company. UFC, Battlefield, all of these numerous games that they produce. You think Anthem is going to be a trash game?
No.
Oh, no.
No.
Right.
It ain't EA Sport. I'm telling you, man. And, you know, and I kind of mentioned it a few times in videos, kind of just, you know, teasing it. But I really believe that there's an issue at Tiburon. Whoever is managing that group, Rex told us, I mean, it's plain as day. That's the problem. Because patching takes time, they got to allow you to do that. They got to allow you to focus on this. They got to allow you to focus on that. Me and Smitty know there's guys in that building that's considered executives that do a lot of complaining. We've been there at times where we've literally heard a guy or two say, I don't know about that. You know, how are people going to feel about inaccurate passes? Remember that, Smitty?
Oh, yeah. Oh.
Right before they introduced that, next thing you know, the game launches is completely toned down.
They had an in-house tournament, and dudes complained, and the game came out with all that nerf. And I mean, the game was beautiful. What we were playing, it was beautiful. The passing wasn't perfect, but it was beautiful the way it was at that point, and it got took out. It got altered because tournament guys. That's why I have angst for some of those cats, because of the way they want the game to be and don't really want to adjust. That's why the game just broke down the way it does. And then some of these same guys be turning around saying, hey, what happened to our game? How come things changed the way they did? You guys are why. Police your people. Tell your crowd. That's why. You know what I'm saying? You don't worry about sim. Well, sim guys, what y'all need to no. Police your people, because we feeling the effects of what you guys are asking for.
Yeah.
And what you guys are making change, we don't want happening. But guess what? Well, spill over on the sim side because of what happened over here on the comp side. Nah. That can't keep on happening. Can't. So
honestly, man,
sorry.
We asked for it, but I'm gonna be honest, man. They need to take those 3 play styles out of the game, man.
Yeah, I said it from the inception. I never understood that. I never understood that from the inception. If you look at the MLB The Show, and especially 2K, there's no 3 type of gameplay mode. You just play the game.
Well,
Period.
They took it out. They took it out of 2K.
Yeah,
2K had it. They did have it before. Yeah, they took it out.
See, what 2K does now, which I think is very slick, I mean, slick in a good way, and a lot of people miss this part. Azure explained for 19 what the different difficulty levels do. And I love the adjustment they made there, because we always talked about how translation of difficulty has been a problem in sports games. So Czar's explanation, and I think, listen, people can still argue whether they like that or not, but I love when they at least explain the idea. He said the way theirs work, particularly say on Hall of Fame, they are expecting you to get a perfect shot every time. Like you basically have mastered the game where you green releasing every single shot. Because if it's not perfect, the percentage of it's the wiggle room that you have for that shot meter is very slim. Whereas he said, if you want more of a realistic situation, you're going to want to play on All-Star. Because All-Star is the most balanced where it'll allow, you might be a little bit off and still make the shot. You might be a little bit too far and make the shot. Or you can get a green. So, but he said basically the game plays the same way. That's what he said in his video. Like the game, they don't really have a cheating aspect to the game no more. That's what he said. I don't know if it's, I'm not going to go out on a limb and say he's absolutely right. I mean, obviously you're going to defend your product. But I love his breakdown of that. Basically saying the AI is going to be the same. It's just, how forgiveful, is it going to be based on the way you play defense and the way you release your shot. And I was like, see, that's what I'm talking about.
And see that, yeah. And EA doesn't incorporate that at all when you're dealing with higher levels of gameplay. Not at all.
And see, and like what Kia just said, I agree fully with Kia. Whether we like it or not, as long as you tell me why something is happening, I'm cool with it.
Yeah.
I can adapt to that, even if I don't agree. If you say, look, this is why it's happening. And Smitty and I, to be honest, to put it in a nutshell, we've learned this over the years for certain things. We was like, oh, okay, well, all right, well, ain't really much I can say anymore. Like the DB and wideout stuff. Smitty knows this, and I say it all the time. It was a time where it was synchronized catches, and me, Smitty, and Azul would be like, man, you got to get that ugly stuff out of here. I hate that. Why does that happen? And our good buddy Scantleberry said, look, man, Sim, this is why. This is exactly why. It's because they have no idea that each other are there. All they're doing is matching a catch. And he basically broke it down. He said, you know how difficult it would be? And you know what? I had to bow down when he said this. He said, do you know how difficult it would be to develop a game where the receiver and the defender are fully aware of each other, fully aware of what the other one is trying to do, trying to battle him for position, trying to keep him from catching the ball? And I was like, okay, I get your point. It's like it's almost impossible to create that level of AI between those two players. So what do? They go with the pre-canned two-man sequences. Sounded like a great idea until we found out it would be a canned sequence. So at least we understand it a little more because they told us why. It was like, it's very hard to make these two players like really react the way you see it on TV because there's so much calculation that has to happen there. But my only challenge to that, and I know Smitty saw the video. I did a video not too long ago with FIFA, using FIFA clip and using the Madden clip where the two guys were jostling for the ball. And I was able to keep Neymar from stealing the ball because of the way I was defending him. And then, animation plays out where they're pushing and jostling and Neymar's trying to pull my jersey. And okay, somebody might say, yeah, well, that's kind of canned. But it was believable. It made me think, look at this. So that's all we're saying. Like, we're not telling Madden to make the game, like what I'm watching here on Thursday Night Football. It's impossible. But you need more animations and more situational things to play out accordingly. So at least to our eyes, we can believe that dynamically happened because this guy beat this guy in this situation. They do a poor job replicating that.
Yep. That's exactly what I was going to bring up too, was FIFA, because when we had talked about that before, Sim, I was like, My next question would be, well, how come they have all this in FIFA?
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Now, you can talk about the AI, but I mean, at the same time, the AI limitations, but in in FIFA, I mean, when players come into perspective or whatever, if they're unaware, like they act unaware, like they don't have eyes in the back of their head.
Right.
But when they feel a player there, now they put their hands up, they're touching, they try to do a header. They're not just gonna blindly try and head the shot. They're gonna put their head around their shoulder or something like that. You know what I mean? Like they're gonna try and finagle their way to get a shot off, or to try and make a stop. They have the animations in there for it. So it's like we need that same kind of responsiveness in Madden, and we don't have that right now.
Mm-mm.
So
Mm-mm.
while we could talk about how difficult, look, even from the aspect of the whole living worlds, the three pillars and everything, right? FIFA honestly did the best job of it while that whole Ignite theme was going on. You saw the player intelligence, you saw the living worlds, you see the what else was it? I don't remember exactly what it was. It was the arena sounds. I know it had to do with the players and their awareness on the field. But I mean, at least those two pillars, you saw that. We didn't see that with Madden, and it's like, with
we yet to see RG3 scanning the play, and we yet to see that.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, even with that. So it's like when we don't see these things, that's what makes it hard to really talk to it like this until we actually see it and it stays there. Because, excuse me, you got projects in your own house that are doing it at a better clip than what you got going on with Madden. And I mean, it's like there's some kind of special case with Madden where it's like we can't do any of these things with that, but everything else can be done with every other title. And I'm puzzled on that.
Yeah.
As to why that is.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, and like, somebody just said in the chat, in FIFA, guys fight for position when the ball is in the air, like when they do corner kicks and stuff like that, especially those situations. I've done videos showcasing that, saying that's your wideout DB interaction.
All day.
As literally is it. No two-man sequences, not Candace stuck in anything, but they showcase respective animations based upon their position, the situation around them. Why can FIFA do it, but Madden can't? You know what I'm saying? And I mean, look, if you need to get multiple studios involved on Madden like what FIFA does, do it.
Yeah. Whatever it takes.
Whatever it needs to be done. Yeah, like skip all that. Quit playing around. Cut the blank check. You know what I'm saying? And say, resource money here. Do it. Clint, A-Dub, oh, you need to do what? Go ahead. Check. The check cleared, get to work. You know what I'm saying? Let them do what they need to do to get to put the systems in place and build upon it. Skip all this taking these little baby steps. It kills me. Like you just said, Sim, we went to the studio and asked, hey, what's up with these sliders? What's the explanation? Dudes couldn't even tell us. Why? But you got Czar, who's able to tell. He ain't been there since the beginning of 2K when they put sliders in, and he's able to go on a stream and tell us what the sliders mean. Mm-hmm. Every single one. And what they do when you turn it up, turn it down, etc. But yet, no one can explain what's going on with the sliders in Madden. Come on, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the kind of stuff that's a problem right there. Oh, we added on to it, but we can't tell you what it all means. You should be able to. And if you can't, that's a problem in itself.
The funny thing is, they can talk to us about all of the stuff they add.
Exactly.
And that goes back again to.
Oh my God!
I just want to say this real quick, man, because I think people either miss it or they just don't retain it. So, I see a comment here saying, "Oh, so it must be the dev team." Guys, y'all need to really listen to what I'm about to say. This is beyond facts. It's not the development team
At all.
It's not. Contrary to what people believe, all of the stuff even that me and Smitty complain about, the devs still are working on a clock. For example, it's October right now. Let's say we want a certain thing patched, we want a certain thing implemented, we want a certain thing done right now. Don't you know there's somebody above those guys that say, okay, we'll give you a little time to work on this, work on that, you can fix this, you can fix that. You know why that's so critical right now is because Madden 20 is underweight boys and girls. And I'm going to throw a bone out there, but I'm not going to give it to you. I'm just going to throw it. Once the game releases, or when we get closer to when they start showing it, I'm going to tell you guys when they started working on Madden 20. I'm going to tell you exactly when they started working on that game once we start hearing about that game. So hold me to that. But outside of that, here's another thing. It's so many things that I could say some things that will probably get me kicked out of the program because I would be breaking NDA. What I mean by that is y'all have no idea how many things should have already been in the game. They were plans, people. Plans to be in the game. Like, I've seen it drawn up, like, yeah, we're doing this, to come back and say, we gotta cut it. To come back and say, man, we had to pull everybody to work on long shot. To come back and say, franchise team, man, for this current year, they over there trying to help live. Trust what I'm telling guys. It's stuff, and I hope this stuff happens, because when it happens, hold me to this. I'm gonna go back and say, oh yeah, that right there, that was supposed to be an 18. Now we finally got it. Oh, that? Yep. Yeah, I remember they told me that was coming in 17. I promise y'all I'm gonna do that. If these things show up, I'm gonna tell you when I first heard about them, because at that point it ain't gonna matter. So what we're trying to say, man, is it's not the team. It's not the team.
No.
Listen, these dudes know so much about football. Like, y'all have no idea. And I have to defend them only because I would hate for. I mean, let me be fair. On one hand, I really wouldn't care, because I don't really care what people think about me that don't know me. But at the same time, I would hate to be walking around and people have a totally different perception of who I am versus who I really am. So that's why I take up for the devs, but I'm like, nah, man, it's not these guys. It's not them in terms of innovation and pushing football to the next level. Rex told y'all that. Like, how are we missing this? What do y'all think creative differences mean? What do y'all think that means? When he says, yeah, we was, it was creative differences. We thought it was best for both parties for me to. Why do y'all think that is? I know you guys can read between the lines. Also, maybe one day if I get the permission, because I do know, I'll go that far and stick my neck out there. Maybe I'll tell you guys why Rex left, if I ever get the permission to do so. I don't know if I ever will be able to say that, because, obviously there's some things I'm sure he doesn't want out. Obviously there may be some things, guys, when you're dealing with a big corporation like that, for you guys that might be younger and have never worked in the corporate world, when you're in that kind of position, sometimes when you exit, you might have to sign an NDA saying you won't say this, you won't say that.
Yeah.
So it's certain things that I just know of that I'm never going to say, because A, I'm not going to commit to who told me to protect the person, and B, and unless they say I can say it. But yeah, I know why he actually left. Fully aware of why he left. But again, all you guys got to do is use your third eye. Just read between the lines. And here's another thing. Here's the last thing I'll say. Our good buddy Scott O'Gallagher, OG. It was a time, y'all remember, when he used to work at EA Sports. All about NBA Live. He worked on 14. They introduced this new dribbling thing. He was like, oh, okay, if y'all ever get the game to look good, y'all got something going with rhythm dribbling. Where that rhythm dribbling at now? It's this game called NBA 2K has it. And why did he say he decided to leave? Along the same lines. Well, you know, creative freedom was the word that was thrown out there. Who else said that? Publicly. Mike Wang. Y'all remember the guy that left 2K, went to EA for a bit, stayed maybe a year and a half, went back to 2K? And where was he working at? Tiburon. I bet you if he would have been working at EA Canada, he wouldn't have had that problem. If he was working on another game. So that's all I'm saying, guys. Listen, like NY Kia said there. And listen, for you guys that don't know, and Kia can confirm or deny. But, you know, Kia plays some college ball, if I'm not mistaken. Kia also has coached some football. He talks to A-Dub and Clint, and he's talked to them on a level that we've talked to them, because he's developed that relationship, and he's not a game changer. And he's saying to you right there, oh, they know what they're doing. They absolutely know what they're doing. So should it ever occur to anybody that maybe they just aren't able to do what they want to do, it should be obvious. And that's all I'm saying. Is I'm not trying to stick up for people. I'm just saying, I don't want our crowd, you know, because we all need to come together as a collective and be a louder voice. But I don't want us spewing out things that could be not heard. You understand what I'm saying? Like, you go at Clint or A-Dub with that, they ain't even paying attention to you now. They see you tweet out something, them dudes don't know football, you done. They feel like, oh, I ain't listening to that guy. And you might have a valid point. You see what I'm saying? So I just can't get with the it's the devs. It's the devs. No, it ain't. We're telling you. We are telling you. Like, how you not believe in Smitty and I? That's the thing that amazes me the most. We are telling you exactly what the problem is. So how are you still saying, nah, I don't believe that? All right. Okay. Go ahead and carry that stress then. Hey, all right. Don't listen to us. All right, that's enough rant for the night, man. Deron Smith, man, I know he wanted to come on and share some thoughts, so just confirm in the chat if you're still listening. If you want to come on, man, be happy to bring you on.
I'll let him go ahead and take it, man. I just wanted to say my little piece real quick, and it was good talking to you guys tonight, man. And hopefully I'll be back in the next week or so.
Yeah, man, whenever you can make it, man.
Oh, yeah, man. You already know what it is, bro. Appreciate
you. All right,
you.
Appreciate you guys. All right now.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
All right, brother.
All right.
So, yeah, Smitty, man, I don't know, bro. I don't know what else. I mean, I hope people understand my angle, though. I hope they understand, you know, why we talk this way. Is because, like I said, we're trying to do the best we can for you guys, so your voices will be heard. Because I'm telling you, these are human beings. Let's take all of that company and you should be able to take criticism and all that out of the equation. Put yourself in their shoes and just imagine if somebody was coming at you like that and telling you that you don't know what you're doing. Are you gonna listen to that guy? You know what I mean, Smitty? That's just human nature. You're not gonna. So I don't want us to be the crowd where people look at it and be like, man, see, they just be saying a bunch of noise. Nah, I don't want that. Because we got their ear. We want more people's ear. You know, we want them to have more of you guys to have the ear. So it's coming from a conglomerate. It's not just, oh, that's just Smitty and Sim talking. Nah. You know, we want as many people as possible to have the same effect, so it can trickle its way up to the suits.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
So something well, you know what? I was gonna say I would chime in on it real quick. Well, you know what? Since we basically had been hitting on it, I'll just chime in on this bit real quick about NBA Live. Just touch on. Then we could talk about this. Sports games need the most focus. Uh, when it comes to NBA Live, look, this was something I saw online, and this ain't dissing nobody because this was posted public, so it ain't no diss. But when it comes to NBA Live, all the title updates they've done with Live 19, and this is still the same premise is still going on again. It's got nothing to do with devs and not being confident in their ability to create games. It's got nothing to do with that. Nothing to do with them. But the problem here is that they're being handcuffed. You know what I'm saying? They're being stopped in terms of what they're able to do and not do. Like NBA Live 19 launched and you didn't even have sweat in the game. You had to wait for a title update to get that in there. That alone, game shouldn't have came out September 7th. That game should have came out like October 7th, October 10th or 15th or something like that. It should have came out right before the regular season started. Because even with these updates, yes, the game has gotten better, but the problem is it's basically, instead of updating to refine what's already there, it's more of you're updating to try and alleviate all kind of problems. Because this game launched prematurely. And something I had seen from, looking online, one of the devs was bringing up 2K in a response to what I had said about an NBA clip that happened, from the games that were played yesterday. And I was saying like, this is a big problem in live is that they make you pick up your dribble. They force you to do it. Unnecessarily make you do it. If a player nudges you, all of a sudden, oh snap, I got to pick up the dribble. For what? Why? What's the determining factor to just make you at random pick up your dribble? And it's not like they legitimately cut off your angle of pursuit when you dribble. It's like they're just making you stop. They just pull you into those animations. You have an angle to the basket and they pull you into a bump animation. Now you're picking the ball up. No longer can dribble anymore. And when I made this point, Dev gonna say, well, if you're gonna say it about this game, there's also other games that it happens in too. Listen, you're a dev representing Electronic Arts. You can't just say 2K outright. But when you make a statement like that, and you say 2K, you know what I'm saying? When you make that kind of point, and I'm sorry, bro, but when you're when you have game issues going on with the project that you work on, why are you referencing somebody else? You see what I'm saying? There's a song like I don't remember who sung it. It's an old joint, but one of the lines they say, "Sweep around your own front door while you're trying to sweep around mine." It's the same premise here. Sweep around your stuff. You have your own area that looks like a pigsty. Yet you worried about what somebody else's situation is. Oh, but if you're gonna talk about my situation, you gotta talk about theirs too. No, I don't. Especially when what they have going on is better than what you do. So you definitely don't want to bring them into the picture. So you got to stop. You got to stop you got to stop doing that kind of stuff. NBA, like, you got, my man, Sim, your wide receiver, he's part of a challenge in live right now. Why is Juju Schuster in live? When you got gameplay stuff that needs to be addressed.
Right.
We need post-up animations and stuff like that. Like, we need contextual blocking and stuff like that when it comes to shot block attempts and everything. We don't even have that. But we got Juju, though. Juju's in the game now. And you can, I don't know, I guess beat him in the challenge and you get him or something. I don't know. I don't play the challenges because I want to play a game of NBA basketball, and I'm not really getting that. I'm truly not getting that from live right now. And that's why we make these points talking about the game and everything like that. We want the game to be better. But the people that are making the decisions, you have to give these people the resources and the ability to do it. And like I've said before, they got the new studio, you know, the additional studio in I think it's either in Madrid or Manila or whatever. They have that studio. I want to see these guys do a good job with replicating live. I want live 20 to be phenomenal. But it's pretty crazy. This game has only been out for a little over a month. Plus, yeah, a little over a month. And it's like, this game feels, you know, like somewhat dead weight. Unless somebody puts some sliders out there, which some people have, and I've tested them out, and it does help the game a bit for the offline gamer. But the game feels like it's a lateral. You know what I'm saying? It's not a truly forward step in progressive direction. It's more of a lateral. See what I'm saying? So I'm not thoroughly impressed, you know, with what they did. I respect what they implemented, and I appreciate them for doing it. And I even appreciate the extra effort with all the title updates and stuff. But we need more than that. Seeing 5-6 gig updates, and we got gear and all that stuff being added in. I know they got to do that, but honestly, they could have kept all that. It would be awesome, like what was said earlier about Battlefield 4. It would be awesome if they held the game. Yeah, man, please, boy.
Smitty hating on my man Bigums.
Nah, I ain't hating on that, man. That's his facts. That shouldn't even be in the game right now. That's just crazy. But no, like you said about Battlefield, same deal. Game has all these issues. They should have been like, we're gonna hold off on Live Strike. We're gonna hold off on this, hold off on that. We are gonna double down, buckle in, and just focus in on these problematic areas of the game. When we get this game right, then we'll get back to the regularly scheduled programming with all the the challenges and all that. I would love it if they were able to do something like that, but unfortunately, they're not on the timetable of a Battlefield, nor do they have the resource allocation. So they're not able to do that. You know what I'm saying? Or if they were, the likelihood would be very low. You know what I'm saying, for them to do that. Because I think that would hurt them with forward progression more than help.
Daddy.
But
Daddy.
you know, at the end of the day, hold on, sweetie. At the end of the day,
Daddy.
like I said, I want both of these games.
Daddy,
Huh? Hold on, just a sec, babe. I want the game to be a lot tighter than what it is, man. And it should be. Even with a smaller team, they've done better with having a smaller team before on this generation when it comes to certain facets of the game. So it's not like they can't get it done. They just got to be, once again, get the shackles off these people. Let these people go out there and do work. Otherwise, if you're going to keep cuffing these cats, this series is going to fall off altogether. That fatigue, that franchise fatigue is really going to set in a big way. So that's it, man. But that's all I got on that, bro. I'll throw it back to you.
Man, I got 2 words. Well, actually, I guess you would say 3, because EA, I guess, could be considered 2 words. But my 3 words is EA Tiburon. I'm telling you, man. Listen, until I find out differently, I want to be proven wrong. But I really feel like it's the Tiburon management, man, because that, honestly, Smitty, that's the only thing that makes sense. Because if it was, I would actually feel better, and it's sad to say this, but I would feel better if all the EA Sports games was like dun-dun-dun. Like they all was like just halfway done and, miles behind 2K and the MLB The Shows of the world and PES. I would feel a little better if that was the case, because at least then you could say, man, EA Sports just can't do it. But the fact that they have games like outside of that studio, every other game is arguably, I mean, we think about it. We use FIFA as the GOAT. That's the metric. That's an EA Sports product. It's something with Tiburon, man. I don't know. I really don't know what it is. Maybe I'll find out one day. Like, maybe I'll be fortunate enough for somebody to be like, look, man, you were right. And, maybe they'll say you can't tell nobody, but because I'm telling you, I really think it's how they manage that studio. Because I'm just thinking from the corporate standpoint, guys. Like, I still do, but I'm just saying I've worked in corporate environments and I know how different sectors work. You have offices here and offices there and offices there, and they all are ran. Matter of fact, my wife is going through it right now at her job. She's a project manager and for a credit union. She's one of, somewhat of a top dog in their call center, right? And they have different locations. Then the way she runs her thing is totally different than how they run it in this other location, which is different from how they run it in another location. Now, not trying to brag or nothing, but comes to find out, the way my wife do things is the preferable thing that's being seen by the higher ups, and the other areas are getting kind of upset because they see that she's always the one that's getting the praise, getting the recognition. She got better ideas. I mean, just the little stuff she does for her office, and that's my point. Anybody who's ever worked in a corporate environment would understand that. Like, sometimes the company is the company, and as long as they making money, we all happy. But underneath that, the different areas of the company could be ran different. That's how I feel about Tiburon. Their bread ain't been affected yet. Madden is making a killing. I know people will look at the sales and say, oh, the sales ain't all that. But that's where I can jump on the MUT train. Like a lot of you guys say, oh, it's because of MUT. MUT is bringing in them dollars, bruh. So the people that, you report back to, how are we doing? Come in my office. Tell me how are we doing with the numbers? Numbers are good? All right, great. Nice meeting. That's all they care about. They don't care that, well, the game ain't really the best product right now. But are we still making money? We are? All right. See you next year. That's how it goes, man. And for whatever reason, I don't know if it's because it's a different mentality. Them boys up in Canada, man, they going for broke. Part of it could be like Smitty said. FIFA got a little competition out there in a game called PES that I've actually been told by some soccer heads, gameplay-wise, they think PES is more of a simulation. So maybe, it's a competitive nature by the management. I don't know. I'm trying to make something up, guys, that makes sense. Because none of this makes sense to me, that you have a section of your company that don't make the best products. That makes absolutely no sense to me. I mean, I don't know. It's crazy. Y'all laughing at the CEO voice. You know how the big wigs do? Sitting back with the little cigar. How are we doing, boys? I mean, that's all they care about. Come on, y'all listen to these calls, these investors calls. They don't ask no real questions. All they want to know is how we gonna make more money. Even the people calling in, those from other the investors, those people who are investing. And I don't know, it's tough, man. But all we could do is keep up the good fight, man. It don't cost us nothing to do this. We're gamers at heart, so I don't mind being a part of, like you guys have appointed us as, two community leaders. We don't mind having that role. We don't mind having an affiliation with EA, because why not? I'd rather be in the building to see what's going on than sitting on the outside. But
right,
the culture is going to have to change, Smitty. I think, I'm praying that the more they get people in there, that even with live, with that homeboy, man, like this is our guy. With Spade being on the team now, I hope the more and more they get real people in there, and we know, even the guys that we know that's on live, they know basketball too. But I'm just saying, the more you have that type of mentality in the building, I think it helps to break people down. You know what I mean? Like, eventually, maybe you could get the ear of somebody and they'll say, okay, sure, we'll do that. We'll let you have a little extra dollars to do this or do that. I don't know, man. It's in a rough spot right now. And with all that said, Smitty, man, I think people still kind of perceive what we say. With all that said, Madden to me still is not a horrible game. In fact, playing in leagues, I actually enjoy it. I have a good time playing in leagues. There's some BS. Absolutely. I got a video that I'm going to post to you at some point, maybe Saturday, from the league game. There's some craziness going in there. Matter of fact, if I can, man, I'm going to try to chop up a little example tonight of a play it was Antonio Brown versus Patrick Peterson. And boy, if we could have FIFA's interactions in that situation. What basically happened, guys, is, and I don't care about giving away the video, because you guys, if you want to see it, you'll watch it anyway to actually see the footage. I'm in position, okay? I run a play action, which ironically, guys, play action seems to work for me at times, I guess, in the league, because we're playing a certain way. I run a play action. I got all day. I mean, Big Ben ordering pizza back there, kissing the kids. All day. I had so much time, I probably threw it to the wrong person, because I'm like, I can't believe got this much time. So anyway, I heave it, throw it like 60 yards into the end zone. It's Pat Pete and Antonio Brown. The ball is in the air so long, I was actually able to click on the AB and get in front of Patrick Peterson, kind of strafe-like. Fully in position. I go up, I jump before him, ball comes right to me, and all of a sudden, it turns into an interception. And you guys will see why when I post the footage. Peterson was mildly slid into position to get the interception. And I'm like, see, this is the stuff that we're talking about. There's no control. Like, I understand two-man sequences, but in a situation like that, I'm trying to box him out and go up for the ball. At least make me believe it. But you'll see. And those, to me, Smitty, those are the things that's wrong with Madden the most. Is the interactions. It's too much override with the dice roll. It's not enough believable animations for certain situations. And, AI. At times the AI just loses its mind. Because would you agree, Smitty, that as much as we all complain about Madden, it's not like it's not as many things as people would expect that needs to be fixed that could make that game turn the corner?
Yeah, that's all I was saying earlier. Like, we're not saying that they need to, there's a lot of work and stuff that they need to do as far as taking this game to extremely higher heights. Like, it's got to be some ridiculous over-the-top innovation. We're talking about, like, separating animations, seeing players, AI logic, tangible angular play across the whole board. Wide out DB play, running the ball, O and D line engagements being organic. Like we're saying organic play with these things. Now, I know they take time to do, but this is the kind of stuff that you need to build toward. You do that, we're fine. Madden will be a much better game for it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, people are going to complain about what's done either way, but still, you gotta weather the complaints with just leaving the game alone. Because like what Sim and I talked about earlier, we were in the studio. We played the game, okay, one of the Madden installments, and it felt great with the passing. But because of a tournament and somebody felt a particular way, we all had to suffer the same fate. You see, now to the point, and this is off of what Brett was talking about before. This is why personally, this is why I wanted the style separations in the game. But I wanted it to be either everyone has to get on board with authentic replicated football, or you're going to need the separation.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I'm at with it. Now, if you're going to replicate authentic football regardless and everybody just got to deal with it, then I'm fine with that. But I don't want to be stuck having to compromise with, well, because an attorney guy feels this way, that means that I'm going to have to go along with it too. Like, no. That's what I don't want to see happening. So, but otherwise, though, all in all, I mean, that's pretty much where I'm at with it. Like, we're not asking for, nor, like, what we're talking about is not a gigantic amount of innovation that we're asking to happen with the game. We're not. You do that, that'll make franchise mode a heck of a lot more playable. That'll make just think about, like, how you see FIFA. But let that be football, that organic and that much more dynamic. You know how much more fun it would be to see MUT tournaments? Sim leagues would be off the chain. See what I'm saying? But they got to be allowed to make it, man. That's just it. So
it's funny too, man, because there's a lot of challenges that even they will face if they make the sim game. Looking at this game right here, then there was just a fumble recovery and a touchdown. I'm not sure this guy's name, number 31 for the Texans. I think the back of his jersey says Jernigan or something like that. I'm not sure. So if you guys know who it is, you can say his name. But the point I want to make, earlier, maybe about 10 minutes ago, he dropped a clean interception. I mean, clean. Ball went in between both hands, hit both hands, and he just dropped it. You look back a couple weeks ago, Joe Hayden did the exact same thing against the Bengals. I mean, super clean interception, and he dropped it. So my question is, Smitty, and we say this all the time, when the game is replicating to the best of its ability, there's always going to be, what's this dude's name? Jameson, it says. There's always going to be people that is going to be pissed off about that. Like, I guess my question always is, and every time I ask this on Twitter, people always throw this back at me and they say, yeah, but it can't even do that. So, but I'm like, no, I'm seriously asking. At what point would you accept something like that? Where your DB just cleanly drops it. How many people would be willing to say, he just dropped it? That's a hard balance, because I'm telling you, people will always complain about, man, why did he drop that? And it's the same reason why in our league, and I said I'm going to start, posting some of these games, whether I do good or bad in the league, just so you guys can kind of see how the gameplay goes, and we got some adjusted sliders. And that's why we cut down interceptions, because you know, we don't feel like everybody doesn't catch every interception. So we want some variety. And we're seeing, you know, even already in week 1, we're seeing some interceptions. But it's going to be interesting, Smitty, man, to see when and if the game does get to a point where we're all satisfied with it, how people will feel about that. Wait a minute. Did y'all see that for you guys watching the game? How in the world did they get ruled a forward pass when... Wow, Smitty. So Osweiler got sacked, right? He was in the throwing motion, but he throws it backwards. Texans scoop and score, but they overturned it. But I thought even if you throw the ball forward, if it goes backwards, that should be a fumble. Like a backwards lateral. I mean, his arm was moving forward, but the ball didn't travel forward. He was like turned to the side, and he kind of threw it behind him. And they overturned the scoop and score. They said he was a forward pass. Wow. But back to Madden. There was something else, man, I was going to say, Smitty, and I completely forgot, man. I'm trying to remember. I can't remember. Maybe it'll come back to me in these last 8 minutes. But yeah, man, bottom line, guys, we didn't even cover really the second topic. You know, if you guys got a chance to take a look at that article on Operation Sports, they're basically saying, you know, where do sports games need to focus the most? And the majority of these guys from the round table are basically saying gameplay. You know, and I don't think that's nothing new. Smitty and I say it all the time. As much as we want the deepest, you know, the most deepest franchise mode ever, if the gameplay can't support it, I'm still not going to be happy. So I feel like that very question, to me, I don't even like. I don't like the fact that we're trying to, you know, compartmentalize, well, where should they focus? I feel like all of these games, every game should be built up together for every single aspect. It shouldn't be, we shouldn't ever have to hear from any other company, well, you know, we really focused heavy on online this year, and you know, we really focused on franchise. No. Just build the game all the way around, and then, you know, introduce us to whatever you did in all aspects. Because me and Smitty used to hate that when we used to hear that a few years back. Well, you know, guys, we had to focus. No, I don't know. No. Every single one of these modes has people that work on them. Gameplay has people that work on it. Online servers, all of that stuff. Why can't the game be built together? Why does it always have to be we had a heavy focus on something? I just don't like that mentality, man. But I don't know, guys. We'll see what happens. What you guys, Smitty, man? You got anything else to say, man? I think I'm all out. I don't even know where else we can go with this topic tonight.
Yeah, no, I don't have anything else, man. That's pretty much it right there, bro.
It's sad, man. Why our football game? Why did we have to be football fans? You know what I'm saying? Why can't we just enjoy FIFA or something? Oh, man.
Right.
It sucks. Why my sport? I hate that, man.
Yeah. Yeah, I know, bro.
Oh, I know what I wanted to say. I can say this real quick. The real problem, too, guys, I mean, it should be obvious to see. It's really, the biggest problem that this game has is the fact that there's a ton of old code that rears its ugly head. It shines through. They basically build new technologies on top of old code. And how do you know that's a true statement? Rex Dixon told y'all that. When he said there's so much stuff we need to go in and rip out. Remember he used to say that? So maybe this will help you guys understand what we mean about being allowed.
Yeah.
Do you think the the decision makers really want to allow them time to go do all that? Like, just take time to do that? Development time? No. You know, they're not allowing them, you know, months and months and months to go take this out and redo this and do that. And that's what has to change. Like, I'm just hoping it's going to be one of these years that they realize, oh, you guys were right. You've been trying to tell us all along. We can't go forward until we allow the devs to go in and clean this up. I'm hoping that happens at some point.
Yeah.
Because there's good stuff in the game. I mean, it's the reason why we see times where we're like, oh, wow. But then there's other times when that old code just kicks in and overrides it. So that's really all they got to do, man. I mean, you know, me and Smitty are not saying how easy it is, but that's really what has to be done. There's a lot of code that needs to be removed and replaced with new code that will take this game to the next level. It's not necessarily the engine. It's basically structure and coding. They recode how AI works. They recode, you know, some of the interaction things. They can get that stuff underway and build off of that foundation. We'll be all right. But will it happen? Nobody knows. But I don't know. That's all I got, man. Any last words, Smitty, before we sign off tonight? Nope. I think Smitty's already gone, guys. Or he may be tending to his sweet little daughter there. But anyway, guys, that's all we got, man. Appreciate you guys tuning in tonight, man. I hope you enjoyed the show, and we appreciate all the continued, support that you guys show each and every week. Just do a favor, man, if you can. If you liked what you saw here tonight, what you heard, hit the like button. You know, I know we could do better than 14 likes. Share the stream. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Subscribe to Smitty's channel as well. You know, Smitty does a great job with streaming. You know, I don't stream so much anymore with gaming, but definitely go support Smitty on his channel. You know, because he's streaming pretty much every day. So make sure you guys do that. And outside of that, man, that's all we got. Enjoy some football tonight. If you are a Dolphins fan, you're probably on a little edge right now. 14-10 going into the half. And if you are a Browns fan, I don't want to have nothing to say to you until after Sunday. Outside of that, we are out of here. Catch you guys later. Peace.
Peace.
Oh, there goes Smitty. Smitty is back.
Yeah, I'm here.
I was letting them know. Was there any last thing you wanted to say before we roll?
No, that was it. No, you had it, bro. You got it. We appreciate you guys all coming through like always. You know. Otherwise, that's it, though.
All right. Another one in the books. We'll catch you guys next week. Y'all be good. Peace again.
Peace. It's the posse.
Oh, go get that Red Dead.
Yep.
You know, I usually don't tell nobody to buy no games now, and I'm still not telling y'all to buy it, but, bruh.
I'm going to tell you. You know what I'm saying? Get that.
And I'm going to say this last thing, and then we'll go. I purposely, when I realized that it was going to release on Friday, I didn't want to torture myself, because y'all know I got to commute tomorrow. I can't stay up tonight. I purposely didn't buy it, because I knew if I would have bought and pre-ordered that game and it was ready to go at 12, it would be a problem. So what I'm doing tomorrow morning, once I get to work, I'll go in and I'm gonna buy it, and I'm gonna put all faith in. I'm getting a digital copy, so by the time I get home, boom, she ready to go. But I just couldn't do that to myself tonight, because I know that would not be good. Because yeah, nah, I can't be falling over asleep trying to get to work tomorrow. But I will be on that thing tomorrow, man. So hope you guys enjoy. Smitty's probably going to stream some of it during the day so I can chime in and see what he's doing. But all right, guys, we going for real, man. Y'all be good. Have a good night. We out of here.
Peace.